Hello, welcome to another episode of Somewhere Between a film and TV podcast. We are your hosts. I am Daniel Para.
And I'm Erwin Trejo.
And this week we are reviewing Euphoria Season 2, all of it. We might have touched on it a little bit before.
The entire show?
Beginning to end, man.
Wow.
You know how you feel about it?
I've seen Shrek 2.
A little bit euphoric, maybe?
Did you hear what I said?
Or no? Shrek 2?
Yeah.
What about it?
I guess we'll get into it once we, Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, no, I agree with you.
I was like, okay.
I saw somebody tweet that they were like, "This is the best use of that song since Shrek 2." I was like, I'm inclined to agree with you. I like how it was used in Loki, but come on, does not match Shrek 2 or what they do in Euphoria.
Wait, what episode? In Loki.
Of what? It's that one where they go into like the medieval times or whatever at the very beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the same song. Yeah.
Okay, you
but
don't need to like call me out or anything.
I'm like talking to myself right now. I'm like, am I right? Am I wrong?
Who am I?
What's going on? Anyway, if you've never listened to us before, number one, thank you so much for listening. Last month was our biggest month so far for listeners, and that's really fucking awesome. Thank you. And what we like to do is we like to discuss film and TV. Like, imagine you just got out of a theater, you'll want to talk about the movie with your friends, you'll get a little bit off topic, or
What
you
friends?
just finished watching a TV show. None of them, man. You're hypothetical friends in this situation. You know how, like,
who am I
whenever we
talking to then right now?
Your co-host.
Damn. That kind of hurt.
Man, it's okay, Erwin. I love you.
Okay, let's calm down, man. I didn't get any gifts for Valentine's, so.
I love you.
Oh, really? If you really loved me, I would have seen the last 20 minutes of I Love You, Man.
The last 20 what?
The last 20 minutes of I Love You, Man.
Oh, 10. Don't overplay your hand, man.
There was an extended cut. I just know it.
Nope. Or like the secret 5-hour cut of Step Brothers.
God, dude. I remember when you told me about that. I'm like, that sounds amazing. Where is it? When will it come out? And then you were just like, it will never come out. And I'm like, what?
I bet if we watched that now, it would just be like, I mean, it'd probably just be like a B-roll of a bunch of jokes that they made over and over. And you'd be like, it's kind of funny, I guess. Because us not understanding how editing works or how jokes work. You're like, what, 9 years old? And we'll be talking about Robert Pattinson's filmography. A whole lot of stuff to talk about there. It's really interesting. He's had one of the most interesting careers. Honestly, of pretty much a whole lot of celebrities. Like, I mean, both him and Kristen Stewart, in terms of how their career progressed, is fascinating stuff. Anyway, Erwin, let's get into Euphoria Season 2. I think last time we left off, it was... We'd started talking about Season 2.
Yes.
But as a whole, how do you feel about it?
I love this show so far. I love this season more than I did the last season.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I think the first season it was just more understanding and showcasing like the characters, like for each individual character. While in this next season, it just moves on and just focuses on maybe like 2 or 3 characters that like really stood out to me in this season. And then just push forward with that.
I am on the same wavelength as you. I love Season 1, but Season 2, I thought Season 1 had its footing already down. This show, like we mentioned it, this show knows what it is. It's extreme in all aspects. Like, I know some people come into the claim of, is it realistic? I'm sorry, does it need to be? No. Like, I mean... Also, I don't know anybody like this, nor would I want to.
No, true.
And,
I mean, even then, it's just like, I imagine some of this stuff being realistic. It's just more so, how often do you see this, or nor is it talked about?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Too many shows have that, like, small town thing to me. I'm not saying something like a negative, like, oh, too many shows have this small town thing where everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
But, like... I'm assuming there has to be a dynamic there where like everyone knows everyone or what they're doing at all times or who's dating who. Like, there, if I don't know where this takes place in California, people call it Euphoriaville. Like that's what it kind of looks like to me.
Uh-huh.
Like I always assumed some part of Los Angeles, but I honestly have no idea. And this show, being as popular as it is, has a whole lot of takes about it, a whole lot. And I want to tell me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you the one that I read earlier today.
Yes.
What it said was, I don't understand why season 2 had to get all deep and about the characters. I just wanted to watch people in cool cinematography and nice makeup, and like season 2 is so much worse than season 1. I was like,
I'm so confused right now. Okay, like what?
In season 2, legitimately, if you have problems with the way the story is told, I get it. Like, I don't have those problems myself. I found season 1 to be all over the place, but I think the show is so intentionally doing that I've never had that problem. Like, the full spoilers for everything, by the way, in this episode.
What? Damn, what if I told you I haven't seen season 2?
I'd be like, you've been able to hold very long conversations about this show. What are you, Wikipediaing it?
Yeah, yes, right now. I'm like, all right, Daniel's talking about that one episode.
I remember actually that episode, like we mentioned the play because they'd already been hinting at it.
God,
we both said like,
yes.
We both said like, oh, this is A24. They'll probably make it like one of the whole episodes, and I fucking love the way they did it.
Yes,
it is. This comes into play, the unrealistic part of it, but I'm like, oh, nobody would be able to afford that play. That's in high school, but like it works narratively, I think, and also Ethan is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I think from the play, I love most about it was, I guess, like showing how close knit like the friends were, and how they were established as in that group, like within themselves.
I think Lexi being the observer,
mm-hmm.
and because in season 1 she's not in a lot, but like if you go back, there are scenes where she's there, like she's just not doing a lot, but she's there. And I don't know how much of this show is planned out in advance. I don't know if they like always know where it's going, but like there's another article I read that it's so baseless. It's a weird claim that people believe because people have this like axe to grind with Sam Levinson where they'll be like, you hate this actress, so you gave her nothing to do. Like I saw a tweet that said like, oh, he must really hate Sydney Sweeney. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah.
Her character is stupid and off the rails this season, but she gives a phenomenal performance. Like, everyone is great in this. It's one of the, like, sort of the lesser talked about aspects of the show because, like, it is caught up in story most of the time, but if the actors weren't as good as they were, I don't know how sold you would be on any of this happening. And, like, it does veer off into A24 territory where it gets weird and dark and like aggressively sad. Like that one episode, it's a standout for me. I think there are like 2 or 3 that are just, if you were like, you know how people say like, oh, Oscar clips, and we say Mark Ruffalo from Spotlight. I think maybe she says fuck too many times, but that one scene of Zendaya in the Intervention episode, which is,
oh my gosh, dude, that was insane. I forgot.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it until now. That I love that new song they released with Labyrinth and Zendaya.
Oh, the I'm Tired
yes one. Oh, I've been listening to
I've
that
been
song
listening to it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you just copied me.
Well,
Okay, I'm just kidding.
I saw you listening to All For Us earlier on Spotify. I was like, I listened to that like 15 times this morning because it's a great song.
It's great. I've been listening to Labyrinth like all week. It's amazing.
Also, poor Dominic Fike, man.
Dude, I don't understand what people were saying. Like, I saw that video you were talking about where people were literally skipping it. I'm just like, what?
I think that what that means to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I've complained about this before,
Yes.
like people skipping to
Mm-hmm.
just watch the scene, the actor that they like that's in it.
Yes.
I'm like, but what does that mean? What are you doing it for then? Are you not interested in like the story that the show's telling? Like, of course you can love the actor. Like,
Yeah.
you can love lots of actors. I do, but don't you want to see what their character does that affects the overall story? Like, I think Dominic Fike's great in this. I really like his music.
Mm-hmm.
But and that song he gets to sing is apparently not even written by him. It's written by Labyrinth and Zendaya,
Oh,
and
wow.
they felt like they needed it there. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the content of the song itself, I'm like, it makes sense for this to be
Oh
in the
no,
show.
yeah.
It's weird and it's 4 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
but
Not even that though. It's just like understanding like Dominic Fike's character in that season, you know, and like how much he
yeah,
has an effect, how much he affected Zendaya in order for her to like get through her relapse, right? Because it's the same way where I would, because I would also read people saying like, oh, why would Lexi put, you know, Rue's like funeral, like Rue's funeral, Rue's dad's funeral in the play, right?
right.
But people don't realize or like showcase like Rue's like addiction, like how Rue is like outside of school and all into the play,
Mm.
and it's just more. It's if anything, it's like more helpful to Rue from my perspective from saying, well, Rue's trying to find a reason to keep living, right?
Yeah, and like,
And
uh,
she thinks like she has nothing to live for and this and that, and she has like no impact, right? But
mm,
like Lexi having that play and showing all those things that it also affected, you know, Lexi and everybody else around her, not just Lexi, but like her other friend groups as well, and how much they can connect with one another.
yeah. There's a scene that made me tear up, and it's because it's a callback to that special where Zendaya's like pretty much, well, she's not at her worst. She's at her worst in like the middle of season 2,
Yes.
but she's talking to Ali, and like it
God, I
goes all
love
the way
those
back
special
to,
episodes.
yeah, they're phenomenal, and like that's another thing about, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like people consider sidelining characters, but she says something along the lines of like, I've been trying to find a reason, and she was like, for a while, like I kept saying I didn't have one, and she was like, now I feel like I do, and I was like, that's
Mm-hmm.
great because that's character development in the show, and we always talk about this show being about like kind of horrendous people, and finally seeing one go the opposite way
Mm-hmm.
it's great, and especially since like a show like this, like watching Cassie just be aggressively worse every episode.
Oh no, yeah.
Like the thing that made me really upset, just like because we've mentioned that this show does secondhand embarrassment and that like really really anxious tension very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I love that play episode, you feel uneasy and on the edge the whole time because pretty much exactly what happens in that finale at the beginning, because you feel it coming, you just don't
Yes.
know when, and then some of the shit she says to her sister is just
Mm-hmm.
like awful.
Yeah, I mean, it just
And
shows because it's like that's what Lexi is, like the observer, and just more in the background of her sister because her sister is literally getting all the attention, and she didn't, you know, like her. I guess Cassie getting all the attention whenever Lexi was, you know, having everybody paying attention to her and to her play and everything, and Cassie was just off, you know, caught off guard and was put down because of what Lexi was showing, but Lexi was just showing what she felt like was like what helped her become who she was, you know?
yeah, no, this goes without saying, but also I love the music that they decided to add
Mm-hmm.
in the finale. It's a lot of like classical, like random songs, and I think it adds to all of it very well.
Yes.
I
I love
I noticed
Maddie
that
more in this season for sure than the last
Yeah.
season, but it's just because I think she connects better with the other characters in this show than she did on the last season.
Mhm.
Like especially with that one scene with Lexi and Maddie was trying to
Oh,
explain her
right.
confidence to Lexi, and that confidence was
Yeah.
showing while she was directing the play and everything.
No, it's great. Like I loved Maddie in the first season, but they make her legitimately like more likable as a person in this
Yes.
season. Because I mean, she's not the one in the wrong this
Mhm.
time, and
I mean, she still did some like pretty bad stuff in the first season.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I love her now, and like it's hard to defend a whole lot of
Mhm.
people in the show because they're always like, well, what about the one time they did this thing?
Yeah, because you can still argue
uh,
like Lexi being a bad person, not as bad, just
yeah,
because she's literally like seen Rue, doing drugs, probably seen things where Maddie or Cassie have done as well. Even with Nate,
yeah,
like these other characters as well doing these terrible things. Yet she doesn't say anything because she doesn't, have that.
she can't.
She
Yeah,
can't. She
like
just
the
can't.
confidence too.
Yes.
It's just like all about perception and
Yeah.
stuff and like what you think.
Mm-hmm.
But like speaking of sidelining characters, like I noticed that the show is this way. In season one,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it would bounce between characters, and some just wouldn't really be in an episode, and
Yeah.
then some others would. And I know like Maddie, I felt had a fair amount to do, but also she was like definitely in the season less for sure comparatively to season one.
Oh yes.
And
Yeah, I think she was more in like the first half of season 2 than the last half.
yeah,
And so who else? I mean, Kat was definitely sidelined. Jules was definitely sidelined. I would say, like she played her part, but it was anything where like she didn't have any development with her character as she did in like season 1.
yeah, no, that's where I'm going with that because
Yeah.
like I know that people, Jules specifically, like
Mhm.
claim that like oh she's getting sidelined because like this calls into question how people think TV shows work,
Yes.
and it's that like they get their day of and then they're like, all right, what are we gonna film today, and then they just come up with ideas or something,
Hmm.
and because I saw somebody say that like they claimed that they knew that they didn't decide to kill uh Ashtray until the day of filming. I was like,
That like how can you change something like so drastic?
I
Something
was
that
like,
I don't know.
it kind of feels like the climax and the turning point of the season, and that's not something that you would just make up. I don't think while you're there.
The day of
Like,
Sam Levinson just reading a tweet saying, "If they kill Fez, we're canceling Euphoria." Oh no, guys, we can't kill Fez.
because that's how shows work.
Yes.
Is Rue gonna get high today? No.
No.
We'll do that next episode.
I do think that the next season they'll probably have less of Rue and just be more of her just focusing on being clean and all, just that one season, and then trying to highlight other characters as well. Like how Lexi was Lexi was definitely shined in this season. So the next season it could be less of Lexi and Rue, probably a little bit more with like Cassie, Maddie, and Kat, I bet.
Nate just kind of flat out disappeared for a few episodes.
No, he did.
Like noticing that he's just kind of.
Mhm.
I mean, he's there, but like he's not doing insane shit.
Well,
like
because he couldn't really. Because even in the first season, right? It was just not. He didn't really have character development. It was more so of him, more like for us, the audience, figuring out like how his mind works and like understanding what he does and what he, and how much like his dad like affected him as a kid and all.
Yeah, and while I don't think there's any redemption arc for him or a whole lot of people in this show,
Yes.
like I'm curious where they're going with a lot of it, and that's another thing that's like kind of called into question. Is I saw some people sort of upset that the finale ended the way it did, and I was like, I don't have a problem with it because it's getting a season 3, and I was like, but why does every plot point have to be summed up for you already? Like the stuff with the drug dealers still out in the open. Like with Rue and everything, and plenty of the other characters don't have resolution yet necessarily, but that's why you know it's a show. Like there's more to do, obviously. Like I'm wondering where Fez ends up after this. That seems quite sad, and one of the best aspects of the show is as quiet as Ashtray was, like their dynamic was great with each other.
But like,
I also
Asher didn't really have much to play, so
yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, he was just a kid, doesn't do much else, just dealing drugs and killing people.
Oh hell yeah.
My kind of day job.
It's my 9 to 5. What do you lean more into? Killing people or doing drugs?
Damn, these are the only choices I get.
You gotta pick one.
Mm,
Pick God. Erwin,
I pick God.
go with God.
Okay, I choose God.
What if I didn't give you that option?
Thank God. What was I gonna say? I like that. I also like that one episode. I'm pretty sure we talked about it as well. Whenever we talked about Euphoria in the first part of season 2, with Jules and Rue, and like their relationship, and how they did that whole montage. I don't know why.
I love that.
I just keep thinking about that, and I just really love all that.
I loved that montage. Like of course this season definitely leaned even more heavily into like the artsy montages.
Yes.
Like the one of Sydney Sweeney with all the flowers in the background was that's a striking shot.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is one of those shows that goes without being said. It is beautiful. It's one of the best looking TV shows really ever, and I love the camera work. I remember that's something that like really caught my eye in the first season is whoever is able to navigate that, like is able to swiftly move between characters at all points, and you always know where everyone is. And it's crazy because this has like a cast of like 15 people, and the fact that you can bounce that fast between that many people is like insane. Like that's another thing about the, like as great as the play is, the camera work within that is amazing as well. The like because it sort of plays into there's a shot I love. It reminded me of Last Night in Soho because it's a visual trick that I find just unbelievable. Is whenever it first goes into that funeral, and then you notice that all the actors like are different. Like I remember, because that's when you're like something's off, and because you don't know it's into the play yet, and then it moved, and it was whenever Lexi was staring at herself in the mirror. The girl that's like playing Cassie in the play, it pans around within the mirror, and then all of a sudden she's Sydney Sweeney, and I was like, how was that done? I was like, that is unbelievable.
Hey, have you ever heard of a camera?
This is a moving picture.
This is dumb. Show me Zendaya. I only want to see the characters that I want to see, which is only
Bro,
Zendaya.
I just want to see them wear makeup.
I just want to see their makeup. No, okay. Also, I have a complaint though too.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Okay, let's calm down, man. I don't have as many complaints as you do.
Yeah, I was like, usually I'm the complainer.
Yeah. I guess the whole thing, whenever it was before Maddie and Cassie, like the whole versus type of thing. Like whenever Maddie's gonna find out, Cassie is sleeping with Nate and all, that Maddie's gonna go on her and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that I'm like, there's like, why? That doesn't sound like she would.
The character.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like her character, and it makes me think. I'm like, okay, it's clear that it's like you and I talked about it too, where people watch this show for like two different there's like two different viewings when people watch this, right? People who like are watching it because of the characters and like understanding how they are and what they do and how we're gonna see them develop through the series.
Yeah.
And there's other people who just want to see like that extreme scene, the thing that makes like that shock factor. That's all they want.
Yeah.
Like that. I guess like that dopamine effect type of thing where you see something that's so insane and crazy, but you just want to see that one scene.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Euphoria has a lot of those.
Oh yes.
But
like I guess what I'm trying to say is that I remember, I think, was it in the last episode of the season or the second to last episode? I don't remember when. But it was whenever during Lexi's play that she was showcasing their relationship, right? Maddie and Cassie's relationship.
Right, yeah.
And they did like they showed us the extended scene where Maddie was chasing Cassie up to her room and everything, and you see
Right.
yeah, and you see Maddie like breaking down, telling her like saying like about their friendship and talking about her friendship. And you see Cassie breaking down too, of course, talking about the friendship as well. And I don't think people realize like they had a strong bond with one another. You know, like Maddie's yes, like Maddie's more aggressive and everything, but at the end of the day, like she cares a lot about Cassie even now. You know, because the way the last scene with both of them in it, like they were both in the bathroom, separated, yes, but there's it still seems like they're friends. You know,
No,
and something
two,
like
2 points. Yeah, you no, go ahead.
oh yeah, like there still seems like they still seem like they're friends, but like it's just now, like that's just trust that they don't have with one another, that they either have to build with each other again, or it's just something that they have to like, you know, I guess like move on from. I guess I don't know.
No, a few points to be made here, like with what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
is like because I agree with all of it. Like I don't know, we've talked about this before. Zendaya has said this herself, but like it's
I know Zendaya.
Physically,
Yes.
physically in person.
Yes, I know Zendaya.
Wow, what was she like?
Ask Tom.
Ask my good friend Tom. No, she was like there are two different types of people that watch this, like the TikTok like set of people and the like, not to trash that app or anything. I mean, I use it, but like the way they discuss it. And she was like, and the other people. I was like, I've seen the memes on TikTok. They're funny.
Yeah.
They are. But then in the comments, you start to notice you're like, I don't think some of these people are being jokey. I
Yes.
think they're being serious. Because I saw somebody make like a writer's room skit about this. And while I thought it was funny, everyone in the comments was like, this must have been what happened. It was everything I said that was like, oh, they got their day of, and then they're like, wait, who's... Like I forgot, somebody walked in and they were playing the drug dealer lady,
Yes.
and he was like, who are you? And then he was like, she was like, I'm this character, and he was like, oh, okay, never mind. And I was like, yeah, that's not how that works. But the other thing is, I've got my own complaint that's kind of a different set here. Like, this can be funny, it can, but I can't stand the amount that dramatic scenes are now used for memes. Like, it's such a stupid complaint that I have, but I'm like, what if a scene really plays well in a show? Like, the acting is just phenomenal, and then people are like, how can I twist this into like a joke and then post that? Like, there's that one Breaking Bad episode where Walt is crying because Hank was just killed or whatever, and it's a huge meme.
True.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like a phenomenal piece of acting, but also like,
Oh, or whenever Aaron Paul says he can't keep getting away with it.
I gotta admit, I say that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm being
Me too.
hypocritical.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny.
It's funny when I do it.
No, guys, like, listen, right? When you guys make memes, it's not funny, okay? But whenever I do it, it's funny.
I am the master of comedic memes. I make the Facebook minion.
No,
memes
guys,
that your
listen,
mom
right?
posts.
When I watch Euphoria, I'm different. But when you guys watch it, you guys are all the same.
We see it differently than you do. You don't.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't
We
get
use
it.
our eyes. You know, we use this thing called the brain. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
We're basically just like, I'm sorry, we like Euphoria.
Yes, we do.
No, I was thinking about it. I was like, what are the standout episodes? I was like, honestly, the whole season works like.
Oh,
as a
for sure.
whole, but
Like
I
even
do-
Cal. Like,
Oh, I love that those
it's
episodes.
like
Yeah.
he had his own episode where, I guess, it's weird. It's like we're not trying to empathize with him. It's just more so like understand how much like mentally he has gone through, just based off of like how others have basically controlled his life.
Yeah.
It's insane.
He's a victim of control and manipulation, so he takes it out on his children and
Yes.
his wife. And that flashback is beautiful. I love how it's done. That scene in the bar is really sad, and then when he goes back to it,
Oh yeah.
like when he's older, you're not supposed to like you said, sympathize with this person, but you are supposed to understand.
Yes.
And I feel like there's no kind of upwards in terms of you being like, these people are good now. Some of them are like never gonna be that way. And if they try in the writing, it either have to be really, really great writing, or it's just gonna go off the rails. And I think that's like the tightrope that this show needs. Like, it balances so well, but could, if like there's a misstep, I could see that just like falling off immediately. Not the show itself in terms of popularity, but how the story's told is like extremely complex to me. But I really love you called it the good time episode,
Oh
which
yeah,
I agree with.
because it was.
The
That's all it was. But I mean, it was great. And also, it makes, because whenever I was reading people's comments about that episode, and they were like, "Oh, I was so anxious and this and that," I'm like, "Oh, really? Clearly, you haven't seen these movies."
Well, cause like that's their brand. Like you're gonna feel anxious. Like the scene where she's stuck in the, like she got all those IVs. Like it's
Oh yes.
intense. Yeah. So that episode and like pretty much the last two, the play one and then that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like pretty much. Every yeah no I think. Not that I would try and like figure out what my favorite episodes are, but like season 1, episode 4 is a standout to me, and then here has the like those 3 I just mentioned.
No, yeah, for sure.
Plus, got to talk about Shrek 2 now.
Yes, I love Shrek 2.
That musical number is unbelievable.
Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I still think, I don't know why people keep. I understand why people would say Nate could be a homosexual, right?
Right.
But I don't think he is. It was just more so like he even said it to his dad, right? Like whenever he saw all those videos of his dad performing all that stuff, and he sees himself or he sees his dad doing that stuff to him, right? And I told you this too, where it's like it's just more in the sense of like he took away his innocence.
Yeah.
As a child, and now he just sees protecting his family and himself, and he gave up his dad in order to keep protecting his family.
That I am like a lot. I'm really excited to see more of.
Yes.
You don't, since Nate has been kind of a quiet character.
Yeah.
You see a lot of like his face. You don't know what he's thinking because he's kind of he's an unpredictable character. A whole lot of the show, I'm like, you could do literally anything.
Yeah.
Like I would fully believe that you'd do it.
And I feel like Nate, he's the type of character that if he wants something, he'll get it, type of thing. You know, or
Yeah,
like he'll do anything to get it. And so like if he had some sort of attraction, like to males, why wouldn't he just do it? Because I think the last thing he cares about is what other people think.
I think since he like spent so long, like he even says it in the show. He's like, I spent my whole life protecting you. Is like now, it's just sort of where do you go from there?
No, yeah.
And like also really quite loved Fez this season. I'm glad he was in it as much as he was. I really like his relationship with Lexi. I think it's because it's like the only really kind of normal one.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm excited for 3 years from now? 2 years from now?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Another thing to what else with Nate in that play, right? The way he reacted, saying like it was homophobic. I think it was just more so. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's homophobic. It was just more like homoerotic, and it's just
it was definitely homoerotic.
Yeah, and just showcasing like how Nate makes fun of, makes fun of other people for doing like homophobic things, even though he's like in a sport where there's more homoerotic stuff happening around him, but just in the play it was just more explicit.
No, like the visual's obvious.
Yes.
Like it's there. It's the whole like I think the commentary there is in terms of high schoolers being like oh, we're so far removed from being gay, and then like it's just like this incredible overcompensation.
Yes.
And you're like, look at what you're doing.
Yes. You are literally looking at other penises right now.
Yeah, season 1.
Yes. And I think that's what people just don't grasp. And I'm like, are you not thinking like, I don't know.
I know. I saw another tweet that said, I'm so thankful that they got rid of the nudity these last few episodes. I was like, not that I like care that this show has as much as it has.
Yes.
But like, what does that mean? I was like, this show.
I don't like. I agree too. Where I'm like nudity isn't a big part of watching it, but it goes to show what other people were like come into this show and like expect to see something. You know, it's like if you see one scene of nudity, like you expect to see it all the time, and so it gets to the point where you don't want to see it. But now it's like,
yeah,
if they do showcase it again, you're gonna be like, you're gonna have like this sense of relief.
No, our friend Dakota like told me, because he'd heard about Euphoria before I had, and like he's over everyone talking about this, because he was like, I'm sick of it being all over Twitter. And I was like, if I weren't such a fan of it, I would understand being like annoyed.
Yeah.
I was like, honestly, I'm a huge fan of it, and I am annoyed at some of these tweets. Some of the takes are just profoundly wrong to me. And I was like, what was he saying? He said that before we'd even started watching it, because we're new to it. We started watching it like a few weeks, like right before season 2 started, pretty much, right? Like a week before. And he's like, I don't want to watch that. It was sold to me as a show about drugs and partying about high schoolers, and that doesn't interest me. And I was like, while watching it, over the first couple episodes, I was like, it's this, but it's not this. Like,
yeah.
I find it to be a whole lot more than that.
I guess it's the first 2 or 3 episodes. Like, it's the first couple of episodes of the first season of what people say. Oh, that's all the show it is. But once you get past those episodes, it's just more so establishing what the characters are and what they do.
Yeah, and like what they're setting. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so like once we get through all of that, and I guess it's like with episode 4 when things start to turn and like the plot moves forward, and you see all these stories just intertwine with one another. That's when it's just like, oh, okay, this is what this show's about, and just like seeing like how much each other's like experiences affect one another.
No, most definitely. Like, I mean, it's the most tweeted about show of the decade, which is like, that's why the takes are as hot as they are sometimes. Because everyone's watching it, and
I'm not watching it.
You ever heard of Euphoria?
No.
Well, I bet you it's kind of underground. I bet you'd like it.
It's pretty indie. I don't know what that would mean.
It has like every popular song ever. This is the most like indie thing I've ever seen.
And then has Zendaya one of the most popular actresses or like celebrities ever.
Yeah.
Man.
And honestly, pretty much everybody after this, I bet, is like blowing up
for
big
sure.
time. Like, yeah. I hadn't really occurred to me, because like season 1, we'd mentioned we'd heard people say that Euphoria exists and they'd seen it, but I was like, never heard of anything other than, oh yeah, I've seen that, and like that's all I'd heard.
No, yeah.
But it's cool because like I know that Sydney Sweeney's like on a magazine cover. Like I saw it at Walgreens, I think, the other day.
Whoa, Daniel, calm down.
Why would I be there? I gotta tell you about the one time I saw a Haley Steinfeld magazine.
No, let's not.
I saw it. That was at HEB, I remember. I was in a checkout line. And no, I was just like, oh, it didn't occur to me. I was like, these people are like probably really, really famous now, and they're probably gonna be in like everything, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because
not to brag, but I saw Euphoria, which I saw Zendaya in, and I saw her before she got famous.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, oh, I saw Euphoria before it was popular. I was like, I can't claim that on this one. We did not. Like, we started at the moment season 2 started. No, huge. I mean, not that like we're not trying to recommend it. You probably watched it, honestly. Like, who hasn't? My roommate, but that's about it.
Yeah, my roommates too.
Oh yeah, But Jack like hated the first
Hey,
episode, right?
he's at least seen the first episode of season 1, so he can say he hated it.
just to claim it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's better than
You want
saying
to
like
talk?
I hated the show without watching like an episode of it. I guess if you only saw like a scene or something.
No, I think it's a lot better because you've
Mm-hmm.
heard my thing about like I give episodes or shows like a 2 or 3 episode thing, and then if it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
catch my eye, I'm like, why would I? I'm done. Like I can't remember the last time that happened to me, but
Peaky
uh,
Blinders.
well, no, Peaky Blinders I thought was good, but I just wasn't in like the right mood for it. It's like I know it's ending, so I guess I should probably catch up on that.
No, I'd rather put mustard on it.
You want to talk? Let's may over to this. You want to talk about Robert Pattinson?
Let's relish over.
You
Sorry,
just
that was
love
bad.
to relish in your jokes.
Mayonnaise. Sorry.
Cranch. Dude,
Wait,
some
was
of the
that
names for
ranch?
those like some of the names for like those Heinz fusion things are disgusting. Like mayo must.
Like mayo and mustard?
Yeah.
Oh no, dude! I would always put mayo and mustard on my hot dog,
No, I'm
and
not
I would
saying
always
it's
mix it
bad.
together.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying the
Oh,
name.
oh, yeah. I guess.
No,
I
like
don't know.
mayo mustard's really good.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one?
Was there something with like pickle?
Is there?
I think so.
I don't know. Deal with it. I. What do you think of Robert Pattinson?
Um, what's there to say?
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
Um,
He's
so
not
we're
dating
not gonna try
Zendaya, so I think he's a pretty cool guy.
I keep thinking he's dating Zoe Kravitz, but I think they just have insane chemistry with each other
Yes.
in interviews.
Yeah, she keeps laughing at his jokes, and then Robert goes, "I don't know."
And then he's like, "I made that bowl of macaroni and I blew it up in that one interview."
I don't remember that interview.
Oh, you haven't?
I saw that
Dude.
one. I saw the one where you sent me where of him lying or something, or like
Yeah,
making up
'cause he makes
stories.
shit up all the time.
Yeah, that's funny. I like that.
Yeah. I love that like he makes up enough stuff that people start asking him about it and he's like, I don't remember.
It's
Like
it's like, oh crap! I can't believe someone remembered and brought this back up.
No, but they did a profile on him. It's where that one meme of him comes from, that Adidas tracksuit one.
Oh
'Cause
really?
that was that was like an official picture from that news article, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
And he was like trying to come up with this pasta idea.
Uh-huh.
Then he put like foil in a microwave or something.
Yeah.
And it blew up.
Yeah, makes
And
sense.
they were explaining it, and they were like, "Was that a lie too?" And he's like, "No, that one is real." He was like, "I was trying to get a brand deal because I thought it was a really good idea," and he was like, I even pitched it to my agent, and they were like, "Do you really want your face on a pasta?" And he was like, "Yes," and like that one I believe. That one's too funny and specific to be like not real. Or like the one that the one I sent you, the one where he said that a clown died in front of him.
Oh yes.
Yeah. But this guy, like, we've mentioned Twilight on here. What do you think of them?
I don't know. I really don't think much of them. I remember the first one and Breaking Down Part 2 more than the others.
Yeah.
I think because the first one it just changed everything in terms of just rom-coms in a sense.
The one that started it all.
The one that started it all. But not even rom-coms. It's just more like romantic movies. And it just started that phase of other movies like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, well, 50 Shades of Grey is because it was originally fan fiction that was like Twilight fan fiction but written to be sexy, I guess. And
ooh, sexy.
They had to change the name.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's just weird sort of not official spin-off.
But what else? I guess like I started to notice more about Robert Pattinson. Pattinson.
No.
Oh, what did I keep saying?
Pattinson.
Oh, what's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Robert
Say
Pattinson.
button.
I hate
I
you.
was, no, I mean, so you know how it was like a phase to hate the Twilight movies?
It wasn't a phase. It was real.
Yeah, well, yeah, though it happened a long time. Never did. As a matter of fact, I've read all of them. I've seen all of them in theaters, minus the first one. Just to clarify, like it would be something I would do with my sister every time a new one would come out. We'd always go like opening night. I remember my dad hated New Moon. He was like, "This is so boring." I mean, he's not wrong. That's the worst one. No, Breaking Dawn Part 1's the worst one.
Yeah, it was just like a setup to the next one. It really was.
I will never get mad at anybody that like loves those. I mean, they have their place. They came out at the right time for some people. They're not good to me at all, but they are quite funny. Like they're very funny to watch because they have some insane special effects and some insane plot points, like the Jacob imprinting stuff. But
yeah, dude, that one, I did not understand that when I first watched it. I was like, wait, what? And then when I watched it again, I was just like, wait, he's like, so now he's like destined to be with this girl, like this baby.
Yeah, like
what if right away? Like what?
What if she's like, you're not my type. when they're older, what happens then? But something like about both of them, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, I'm very happy they did these movies because they would not be doing the movies that they're doing right now. I still have not seen Spencer. I need to before we do our Oscar thing episode that we're going to do.
Spencer, yeah.
But both of them decided to do just the most like challenging movies after this franchise. So I'm grateful that it exists. Like Robert Pattinson is quite good in Goblet of Fire, and that's kind of like needed to be stated because that's the first.
Why do I keep seeing jokes about that scene from Goblet of Fire where it's like, my boy, my boy?
I wonder if it. Well, I don't know if there's any correlation, but did you see what Robert Pattinson said about that movie? He was like, I like to hold my wand like a gun because I thought I looked silly to hold it like a wand. And I was like, you're in a wizard movie, man.
You're a wizard.
Off the top of your head, like afterwards, what would you think your favorite performance or favorite movie of his
Lighthouse.
Is? Ooh. I think I agree with you. Because I really, really love Good Time.
Okay, Daniel, listen, man. You don't have to agree with me with every single movie choice, okay? You can have your own opinion. You know that, right? Like, I'm not going to judge you. But let's say the roles were reversed, right? And you said Lighthouse first. And I said, oh, I totally agree with you, Daniel.
What would I say?
Yeah, what would you say?
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly, see? And see, now I'm giving you a chance to pick something different.
Well, I just decided to talk about something different, so I can talk about Good Time because Good Time.
We are having a good time, Daniel.
You.
I haven't seen that show.
Neither. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I have a weird experience with it, so I can't watch the rest of it.
No.
Maybe another time, maybe. And he's the anchor of that. He plays like such a douchebag in it. He's just the worst like person in that, but it's a phenomenal performance. It needs to be sold that way. Like you need to get a really good actor to be that likably unlikable.
Mm-hmm. And
I am just so fascinated by like every project he chooses. He's the best part of Tenet to me. Like he's my favorite character in it. I do quite love Denzel Washington's son. Is it David? Can't be David.
I don't know.
Either way, I love him too. But no, I always think he picks really interesting projects. But what is it about The Lighthouse for you that?
I guess it was just it was just also the movie itself that was just so out of place, and also him interacting with Willem Dafoe as well. Like gave me, I was just like, wow, this guy can definitely act. He's not kidding.
Guy,
he's an actor. He's an actor, guys. It was just more so on the fact of seeing range I guess.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of actors they definitely have like that stick that they always like they play the same type of like role all the time.
Yeah. Which is fine, but like I Robert Pattinson is one of those they call it the leading man, like where you know, person that can sell a movie, even though those don't kind of really exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of has that character actor thing where
John David Washington.
John David Washington. Oh, it is David. Where like he decides to, like it's the Jake Gyllenhaal thing to me, or Ryan Gosling, where they like pick insane projects to be in, and it makes just their career so much more interesting because they could just go off and do blockbusters and have that be that. But the choice to do just weird stuff like this is awesome because it's a full commitment to doing pretty much anything. Did I asked you about this? Do you know about the 9/11 movie
9/11 movie.
with Robert Pattinson?
No.
Well, I kind of ruined the twist by telling you what it is, but Remember Me is a romantic movie that he's in. It came out in like 2010 or something.
Here, remember me.
And the whole movie is like, it's going whatever. It's a romance. And then at the end, the twist is this takes place, like the last scene takes place on September 11th, 2001. Where does he work? uh, and the last scene is like him staring out of the towers. And then like everyone's like pointing up, and then he dies. And the movie ends right there. Like that's the twist of the movie, is that this character died on 9/11.
What the heck? Why was
It's one of the most insane twists like ever.
Dude, that sounds like a good topic or like a discussion, like best twist.
You want to have that argument again?
Oh, argument. Here we go again.
Did I tell you? I told you I got the text for real that said Thriller isn't. No, this movie's more of a thriller than it is a horror movie, and I was like, "You're joshing, your name is Josh, and you're goofing with me."
Where did that term joshing came from?
A goof and a gaff. I don't know actually.
Oh, I also forgot that he was in The Devil All the Time.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. I was like, "Do you want to talk about Robert Pattinson or do you want to talk about Tom Holland?" And
no, I hate Tom Holland.
Devil All the Time. The Devil All the Time. He's amazing.
Yes.
And I love the accent he picks to do it too. Like I know some people had a problem with it, but I kind of like the idea that since he's a scammer, obviously, in that he would just kind of pick up like maybe he did see like Foghorn Leghorn. He was like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, it's a real in character thing for me in that. I quite love that movie, honestly.
I hate Tom Holland.
Has a whole lot of people. No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. He took her. He took her from me.
He took her from me.
She don't know you.
I didn't know that it was our. She don't know you. I didn't know that was their second collaboration with each other. The first was City of Z, which I have not seen yet, but I want to. I also need to see High Life. I've heard amazing things about it.
High Life?
Yeah. But he's become one of my favorite actors. Like, honestly, I'm super excited to see what his take on the Batman is. Just very.
Yeah,
how do you think he'll do, Erwin?
Well, I think it was just going to be more than just his performance. But I think that movie itself is going to be something completely different. And I hope it just pays off well. I hope his scenes with him as Bruce Wayne, I'm more interested in than him as Batman.
Yeah. Oh, dude, did you know that? So I was reading reviews of it already. Like people are saying it's phenomenal, this and that. But I didn't know who they got to be Carmine Falcone. Do you know who it is?
No.
John Turturro.
Wait.
Falcone. Like yeah. Big Lebowski, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, really?
Yeah. Because I heard like people. I heard people saying like what some of their favorite parts were, like some of their actors, and they were saying like Pattinson, Kravitz, Turturro, and I was like, Turturro? I was like, wait, who I'm thinking of? No, I'm super excited. I'm just excited to see another. Like, as much as I quite like Ben Affleck's Batman, I'm excited to see another
Dang,
Batman
dude,
by himself.
it's been
pretty
10
much.
years since another standalone Batman movie. That's insane.
2012, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yes, I mean,
Well,
I am
guys.
excited though.
You think that about sums it up?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. If you could, review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and where all podcasts are found. It really boosts our viewership. And hey, also let us know what you think. Erwin, where can they find you?
They can find me at Erwin.Trejo on Instagram and at Erwin_Trejo on Twitter. Right?
I think so.
Dude, you have to confirm with me.
You know, I was trying to look up the page and I couldn't find it, and I was like, "Wait, I know this. I I can do it." And you can find me on Twitter at Para323Para, and on Instagram at Para32Para, and we have an official page for the podcast on Twitter as well. It is at Film Between. And guys, we are so excited to review the Batman for you within the upcoming week. That's next. Stick around, and also if you want to get really mad at a Batman ranked list, listen to our last one.
Yeah, Daniel's list is insane, guys.
Erwin just loves the 1966 Batman.
I just love that year. All the great movies came out that year.
My, you know how people are, my personality. I was born in the wrong decade.
Oh
Or
my
it's like,
god! I was born in the wrong decade. I was supposed to be born in the 1920s.
I'm an
No.
80s boy.
I'm a 30s boy. Actually,
I belong in the 1920s. You don't get me. I need to live through the jazz era and the recession. Wait, was that right? Yeah, no, that's right. I got that right.
yeah. No, I want to live in the
I know-
1930s. I'm so depressed right now. I just need to be in a Great Depressed.
The Great Depression? That's me.
That's me, guys. Like, do you not get it?
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.